And Ministers, thank you for your statements. Meat processing facilities have become one of the worst hit workplaces in Ireland and around the world during COVID-19. The issue will only get worse now that their production has increased for the summer period. Figures from the National Public Health Emergency Team show, as was already mentioned, that there are a total of 828 cases in the meat processing plants. And despite the figures, a number of complaints, no inspections have been carried out by the Health and Safety Authority or the Department of Agriculture. I'm aware the HSE outbreak control teams have been sent out to each of the clusters in these meat processing plants. Therefore, can the Minister clarify what specific functions this group has, what plans are in place to prevent further spread of the virus, and within the plants where has the virus been detected? Representatives from different migrant organisations and union reps have raised the issue of migrant workers at meat processing plants. They have made it clear that migrants in these working conditions are being disproportionately impacted by the virus. Some migrant workers cannot adhere to social distancing guidance at home due to often cramped living arrangements with non-relatives as a result of their low wages. Complaints have been made to the Migrants' Rights Centre in Ireland by workers in various meat processing facilities, and they feel their safety at work is being neglected. They also feel that the owners of these plants have higher priorities than worker safety. This raises a series of questions. What clarity can the Minister provide with respect to measures currently taking place within these plants to ensure social distancing regulations can be adhered to? Will the Minister ensure the shutdown of plants for a 2-week period where COVID-19 has been detected to carry out deep clean? And are there contingencies if closures become widespread? And crucially, in the cases where plants are closed due to COVID-19, will the Minister ensure workers are paid for that period, considering the employment contracts are without sick, or many of them are without sick pay schemes or similar benefits? There have been reports of Gardaí visiting meat processing plants to warn workers that breaches of social distancing guidelines and regulations will not be tolerated. The fact of the matter is that many of these workers are on low-paid contracts, resulting in them having to live in extremely cramped conditions with non-relatives and sometimes with colleagues or workers from other meat processing plants. This increases the risk of the virus spreading and makes adherence to the HSE guidelines impossible. Will the Minister comment on the issue of workers in the meat processing sector who have contracted the virus but are not in the place to self-isolate and adhere to social distancing guidelines due to them living in cramped conditions with non-relatives? I was raised, and some of the guys would know, here in the market town of Carrickmacross, where I fondly remember wandering around the cattle market on a Friday, curiously looking at the animals in their stalls and the hustle and bustle of the auction house. I also recall the relative open nature of the slaughter of animals in the local town butchers. However, over the years, this sector has become overly industrialised. While there have been efforts made to improve animal welfare, there has been similarly no efforts to improve the welfare of farmers and the industry's workforce. This is an industry that appears to treat our livestock better than we treat our people. As it stands, there are currently only 3 companies that control 65% of the traditional Irish beef processing market. The IFA and the farmers have accused this industry of a cartel-like behaviour. These companies have continued to amass huge profits and market share at the expense of our farmers. The organic beef market is in an even worse shape, with only 2 purchasers, both of whom are controlled by a single majority stakeholder. It is clear that we need to shift our focus to create a circular economy that will allow for local and community-led production. Not only will this make the whole industry more sustainable, but it will also allow our farmers more control of the market, shortening the supply chain as a result and increasing community income. Ireland has recently seen the success and the creation of local businesses in similar areas. In recent decades, we have seen a huge increase in the number of microbreweries and distilleries. where before there only were a handful of big players. The state has given and the needed support for that industry to prosper and generate sustainable local business. It is possible, I know, to buy locally sourced and slaughtered produce in many parts of the country, and this creates sustainable jobs for our communities with high-quality food for our consumers. We have also seen successes with dairy farmers having access to cooperatives. The recent crisis has made it abundantly clear that changes like these and more need to be made to improve the working conditions of our beef industry. After consulting the independent research conducted by the IFA, I would ask the Minister, if beef processing is so profitable, then why have we not seen the emergence of successful farmer beef cooperatives? What is the Teagasc doing to give beef farmers support and assistance to improve their efficiency, sustainability and profitability? And lastly, considering there is high transparency when it comes to cattle prices, I ask the Minister if data on the prices paid to the processors by the retailers can be made public. Thank you.